Well, let's speak to Adam Stott from Forever United TV. Good afternoon to you, Adam. Naive or not then to be talking about winning league titles?
Afternoon, Rob. No, in terms of Manchester United, it's not with the history of the club and everything like that, but on that side of it. But right now, it's probably not what Manchester United fans realistically are looking at. They're just looking for a better brand of football. They want to enjoy their football again. It's been a while since we've been challenging for the title, and no one's getting carried away by talks of titles, challenging Manchester City's, Liverpool's and Arsenal's of this world. We're just concerned with what's actually happening right now and the position that we're in and the decline under Amorim on the pitch. We can see work going on behind the scenes, but it is a long, long way away from Manchester United even thinking about challenging for top four, it would seem right now, never mind the Premier League, Rob.
To talk then about a decline under Ruben Amorim, Adam, do you think that you've gone backwards as a team since he replaced Erik ten Hag?
Results would tell you yes. Harry, what have we got? We've got 5-6 Premier League wins in the games that he's had since he came in December. He's had 24 games. We're not winning. We're not winning games. So on the pitch, you could say United have declined under Ruben Amorim. I think that's clear. And results are everything. He talks about that in his press conferences constantly. He talks about the way that he needs to win games to earn time at Manchester United. I think he's very aware of the situation behind the scenes of the football club. And that is brought up a lot. And there is a lot of conversation amongst the Manchester United fan base that Ruben needs his time. He needs his players. He needs to be given a summer like all the previous managers were. But how can this team, which only 2 seasons ago, and yes, there's a few players that came in the summer, but only 2 seasons ago, Manchester United were comfortably in the top 4. We were winning trophies. We won the League Cup that season in Ten Hag's first season. I think that's hard to grasp for a lot of Manchester United fans. But I think the big chunk of the Manchester United fan base understand the underlying issues at Manchester United are more at play here, and the long-term future of the football club. If you listen to Ruben Amorim's first post-match press conference after his opening game against Ipswich, for instance, he says we have to continue going this way because in a year's time, we're still going to be here talking about the same problems we've had the previous 4 or 5 years. So he's aware of issues. He's definitely approached it differently behind the scenes than previous managers. The whole player power FC conversation has been there amongst the United fan base for a while now, but he's attacked it front on, and I think a lot of the United fan base are looking at him and feel a little bit sorry for him that he has been thrown into the middle of a season with no backing in January whatsoever apart from Patrick Dorgu, and maybe we need to see out this rough patch and then see what he can do with more of his own players in the summer.
Just then to balance what you were saying there, and a couple of things to pick up on where you said it is all about results, and then you're contrasting short-term and long-term. I hate to mention your rivals down the M62, but I think back to when Jurgen Klopp was appointed at Liverpool, and it wasn't a straight line of progress. There were setbacks, but there were certain games where you thought, wow, one day this is going to be something exciting. You watch Manchester United every week. I'm struggling to think of games, maybe the Anfield away match, where you really thought, do you know what, this is where this team is going.
Yeah, that really is the concern, because if I was being completely honest, as a season ticket holder right now, Old Trafford's not a happy place to go to. You don't see entertaining football, and like you said there, Rob, you don't see anything to encourage you that there is a turning of the page or there is a future under Ruben Amorim with this crop of players right now. The games against Arsenal, for instance, in the FA Cup, Liverpool, like you mentioned there, that was more of a backs to the wall and not expected to do much. We are playing right now, and the advantage United have got in any game is against the bigger teams because no one's expecting us to beat the bigger teams. We're playing like a mid-table side. And that, I think, is where Manchester United fans are concerned. We're falling into this, oh, this is an acceptance, this is okay, when really it's not. And I feel like them games are isolated on their own. You could take slight positives from them, but there are teams that are attacking Manchester United, and there's usually some room on the counter-attack, and we have got players to actually adapt to that style of game and what happens in a game like that. But when you've got the likes of Crystal Palace, and no disrespect to these sides, I'm just going off the history side of things here and what's expected of Manchester United. Crystal Palace, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton, Spurs to a certain degree as well, all coming to Old Trafford and easily winning games now. That's the concerning side for Manchester United and the fan base right now. We don't see a style. We're not really competing much in these games. Whenever we win, it's just scraping over the line with a last-minute goal. We only just beat Southampton at home. We've only just beat Ipswich at home. Both of them teams look destined for relegation right now. And when them teams are coming to Old Trafford and really dictating a lot of what happens in the play, you start to think, really, is there a style of football? They have the players down tools and giving up on Ruben Amorim, and that's a question floating around the Manchester United fan base right now. It's a concern, but again, it comes down to the players, I think, with a lot of the fan base, and who's actually good enough to be in that Manchester United shirt. And will Ruben Amorim get the investment in the summer, and can we wait that long?
Well, that's interesting. One of the first words that you used there, we're talking about going to watch your team, was entertainment. And the big issue, or one of the big issues, is scoring goals. And I wonder whether your view is that the system doesn't work, or that, you look at Rasmus Højlund individually now, 18 games without a goal. Him or Xerxes just aren't good enough. And no matter what system you play them in, they're not going to score you the amount of goals that Ruud van Nistelrooy or Wayne Rooney or Andy Cole scored for Manchester United.
It's a great point, Rob, because last night you had Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer commenting on Manchester United's game in the FA Cup against Fulham. Two of the greats of the Premier League era strikers. Wayne Rooney, like you alluded to earlier on, Manchester United's all-time leading goal scorer, the all-time leading goal scorer of the Premier League in Alan Shearer. And they was talking about Chido Obi, a young 17-year-old striker that Manchester United brought in from Arsenal in the summer, and him getting a substitute appearance last night. He created 3 chances on his own in 52 minutes of football, and Rasmus Højlund, according to the stats and Opta, has created the same amount of chances in 22 games himself. He's something different for us. And then Ruben Amorim comes in and comes out and says straight away he's not a number 9. Marcus Rashford is not a number 9. So that leaves you with one out-and-out striker in Rasmus Højlund, who, like you said, Rob, is deprived of confidence completely. He doesn't know where to be, it would seem right now. I don't think he knows what type of striker he wants to be, whether he comes short, holds the ball up, runs over the top. His attributes are speed and power, but he just doesn't get into the areas. I don't know if that's a lack of confidence within the team, in him and passing the ball to him, or knowing where he's going to be. And then you look at it and say, from Ruben Amorim's side, is he changing the team too much? Can we not build any cohesion within that forward line? But you're right in what you're saying. And again, talking from the United fan base and a match-going fan myself, the talk is that Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, are they actually good enough? And come the summer, are they going to be players that Ruben Amorim, starting next season, is going to put into his starting 11? I think we could all safely say no, because we probably go out and buy a striker. Rasmus won't be in that starting 11, so that tells you everything you need to know. But then, on the other hand, you've just spent 75 million on a player now that you can't rely on. And that goes back down to recruitment again from seasons of past.
And recruitment and replacing players is, again, a sticky situation, because it was a couple of weeks ago, I think it was before the Crystal Palace game possibly, where Ruben Amorim saying in a press conference, look, if you think we've got loads of money to regenerate our squad, you're wrong, unless we're in the Champions League, which puts huge pressure on that Real Sociedad tie and the Europa League as a whole. You know, there's talks about maybe him wanting a new goalkeeper instead of Andre Onana. If he hasn't got loads of money to spend, where on earth does he start in the summer?
It has to be in them 2 positions that we just mentioned there, Rob, the goalkeeper and number 9. I don't rate, personally, Andre Onana. I think that's well known from my side, with United fans. I just feel like he's a type of goalkeeper that you can't rely on. You can see the defence is nervous with him. We just talked about Rasmus Højlund and the forwards and the creative players not being confident with him never being in the right spots. And I think that's the area. They're the 2 positions. If you haven't got a lot of money, you have to prioritise the 2 main points, because if you don't score goals, then every time someone at the other end, i.e. the goalkeeper like we're talking about, concedes a goal, you end up losing the game. And I think that's where we're at. Look at the victories of United's season. It's scraping by 1 or 2 goals at best here and there under Ruben Amorim. we never comfortably win games. So that tells you that when we do win, it's on a knife edge against poorer sides. And when we lose, it's because of mistakes. Because the defence aren't doing too bad for Manchester United. But I think the nervousness around Onana is something that needs addressing. And then you'll never be able to rely on Rasmus Højlund scoring you the amount of goals that you need. The Champions League seems a million miles away, and Sociedad this week is huge because it's the only avenue we've got in by winning the Europa League. But it is concerning how, and with the form that we're in, we get to even through the next phase right now, because Sociedad is not going to be an easy game for United.
Just a final question, Adam, because I'm worried about your welfare. You look incredibly depressed by the fact we've had to speak about this for the last 15 minutes. But is there any scenario? You're right in so many ways about giving a manager time, and you can't keep chopping and changing. But how bad does it have to get before you do think maybe in the summer you have to make another change in the manager because this system or Ruben Amorim as a whole isn't working? Where would you need to go between now and the end of the season?
I think we're looking into relying on the new structure that's in place, Rob, because Ineos have brought Amorim in. That's their first appointment as a coach/manager, and they need to back him. They brought him in at the wrong time. Ruben didn't want to come to Manchester United mid-season. He wanted to come at the end of the season, and Ineos said it was a now or never opportunity. So they have to back him. But like many questions have been asked now, there'll be a point there'll be a point later on this season where the question whether or not we need to sack Ruben Amorim or not, because results are just not getting any better, will come about. Because you'll be going into, like we've just discussed there, Rob, with a summer with a very limited budget. And if you are going to go and spend that on Ruben Amorim and then worry that it's not going to fix anything at Manchester United, you've got another coach coming in who has then got to deal with Ruben Amorim players like Ruben has had to deal with Ten Hag, and the cycle continues. There needs to be a change, and the change needs to be, I think, back in the manager that Ineos have brought in Ruben Amorim, and he needs at least 2 seasons before Manchester United can actually think about getting rid of him. I know results are going to determine a lot, and that decision will come from the hierarchy of Manchester United, but there is a clear and obvious cycle of managers, and even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer mentioned it the other day, dealing with previous managers' signings, not his type of players. None of these players are doing well under this system like it's been discussed everywhere. And he needs players, at least he needs to be given a chance, because he was brought in because of what he did at Sporting. He's clearly not able to do that now at Manchester United. So if Ineos have forced him to come through the door now, they need to stand by him, and they need to give him at least 2 summer windows to invest into this squad and see what he can do with his style and his players at United.
Adam, the good news about this is that when you have a chat like this on a Monday afternoon, the week can only get better. But thank you very much for speaking to us. Enjoy your day.
Cheers, Rob. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into what really matters to Manchester United fans right now. Forget about chasing league titles for a second. Let's talk about the kind of football we're actually watching every week. Adam Stott from Forever United TV put it perfectly. United fans aren't naive. They know this club is miles off challenging for the league. Right now, it's not about winning the Premier League. It's about seeing a better brand of football. Fans want to enjoy watching United again. And let's be honest, when was the last time we truly did? Before we go any further, if you love passionate, no-nonsense Manchester United discussions, make sure to subscribe to the channel, join the conversation, drop a like, and let's keep pushing for the United we all want to see. Now let's talk about the decline under Ruben Amorim. The results speak for themselves. Only 5 or 6 league wins since he took over in December. That's simply not good enough, and it's not just about the numbers, it's about what we see on the pitch. The football has been dull, uninspired, and at times just outright painful to watch. Old Trafford used to be a fortress. Now it's just a place where mid-table teams show up and take all 3 points. And let's address the elephant in the room, our attack. Rasmus Højlund is completely out of confidence, and the team isn't creating enough for him. Joshua Zirkzee, not a number 9. Rashford, not a number 9. We don't have a proper striker leading the line. Meanwhile, a 17-year-old academy player, Chido Obi, came on for a few minutes and created more chances than Højlund has in 22 games. That says everything about our current attack. Defensively, it's the same story. The players look nervous, and many fans have serious doubts about Andre Onana. If we don't fix these key areas in the summer, goalkeeper, striker, midfield, then forget about Champions League football. Even the Europa League is looking like a long shot at this point. So where do we go from here? Amorim was brought in as the first big appointment under the Ineos era. Do they back him in the summer? Or does the cycle continue? Another manager comes in, inherits a squad full of players he doesn't want, and the same problems repeat. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Amorim deserves 2 seasons to turn things around? Or have you seen enough already? That's all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive United content, and we'll see you in the next one.